Somos ahora, pero
ഇനി അടുത്ത എന്തൊക്കെയാണ് ഇതിലെ ഓപ്പറേഷൻ പേപ്പർ പോലെ തന്നെ ഹൊറിസോണ്ടൽ സർഫസ് ചെയ്യാം, വെർട്ടിക്കൽ സർഫസ് ചെയ്യാം, ആംഗുലാർ സർഫസ് ചെയ്യാം, കർവ് സർഫസ് ചെയ്യാം, ക്ലോട്ട് ഇങ്ങോട്ട് കട്ട് ചെയ്യാം. ഇത്രയാണ് പ്ലെയിനറിന് ചെയ്യാൻ
Hello, Hope the audio is clear to you. Good morning, dear all. Hope the audio is better to you. Some participants have informed that the audio clarity is a problem. Hope it is working now for you.
Yes, you can hear.
Okay, ma'am. Yes, okay, Kalpesh sir, fine. So warm good morning to all. St. Gitt's College of Engineering, Autonomous, is one of the top 3 engineering colleges in Kerala in the self-financing sector, which offers 9 undergraduate engineering program, 8 PG engineering program, PG in computer applications, PG in business applications, and doctoral programs in all branches of engineering. This FDP program, a national level FDP, is organized in association with CSI, St. Gitt's Student Branch, and ISTE, St. Gitt's Chapter. This FDP is designed to improve the quality of faculty and research scholars who are concentrating in the area of security analytics and cyber forensics. Let's kickstart this FDP program with an inaugural session. After the inaugural session, we will be straight away moving our class sessions. Every fruitful session needs to begin with the blessings of Almighty. Let's invoke the blessing with a silent prayer. Thank you all. To welcome all the participants, all the teachers, professors, all the management members, officially, I invite Dr. Rajesh KS, Head of the Department of Computer Applications. Rajesh sir, over to you.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Okay. So, good morning. Hearty welcome to all of you to the inaugural function of the 5-day online FDP on cyber security analytics and cyber forensics, scheduled from today, that is 16th November 2020 to 20th November 2020, organized by the Department of Computer Applications, St. Gitt's College of Engineering. At the outset, I am delighted to express my sincere gratitude towards the principal, organizing team, and the management for the interest shown in this topic and the support given to us in organizing this FD. It is a need of the hour for companies to adopt cybersecurity measures and safeguard their own and their customers' critical information from unauthorized access by cyber criminals, which may lead to a financial and reputational loss. As digital platforms are evolving at a rapid pace, so are methods to protect information security. This FDP focuses on the most challenging contemporary issues in cybersecurity and cyber forensics. The practical hands-on sessions are arranged for better understanding of the concepts and the application of the same in real-time scenario. The speakers of the program for the program are from renowned institutions like IITs, NITs, industries, and research laboratories. Now, let me go to the assigned responsibility of welcoming the gathering. The essence of great leadership is influence, not authority. I am very much pleased to welcome a great leader, Engineer Punnus George, Executive Chairman, Sengit's Group of Institutions, who will deliver the inaugural address today. We welcome you, sir. I am very happy to welcome Professor Mini Punnus, Governing Board Member and Director MCA, who is the driving force behind all the activities planned in the department, including this FDP. We welcome you, madam.
Thank you.
I am extremely delighted to welcome our beloved principal, Dr. Joseph Punyupol, to this function. I congratulate the organizing team and the coordinator of this workshop, Dr. Ambli PS, for arranging the program in a big way. Last but not least, I take the opportunity to welcome my colleagues and all the participants from all over India to this FDP. Thank you.
Thank you, Rajesh, sir. That was indeed welcome to all. Next, I invite Governing Board Member and Director of MCA, our beloved Professor Mini Punus, ma'am. She is the guiding light of all our activities. I invite you, ma'am, for the presidential
Thank you.
address.
So, am I audible?
Yes.
The respected Chairman, Punus George, Principal, Joseph Kunjumol, sir, all my HOD, Rajesh, sir, and all the faculty members of this of MCA department of St. Kitts College, and all other faculty members from other institutions, all other participants. I welcome you all to this FDP. And you know that the most important resource that any institution of higher education has is faculty. So all faculties need to be prepared enough by some sort of a faculty development program in order to deal with the rapid changes and shifting paradigms, especially in the computer technology field. So faculties can be skilled in the latest technologies, and HOD Rajesh sir has already explained the faculty development program that MCA department is conducting now. And so the faculties can integrate more technology into their teaching. So just like the faculties are important for a higher institution, the data world's most valuable resource is data. And so in today's FDP, the topic cybersecurity analytics and cyber forensics is very apt to meet the need for greater security across the business. So we can detect a threat before it has a chance to impact your infrastructure and bottom line. So I hope that all faculties, all participants will benefit from the FDP we are conducting. And I wish all the best for the program. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Next is the most awaited inauguration of the session. For that, I invite Engineer Punyus George, Executive Chairman, St. Kitts Group of Institutions. Over to you, sir. Punnu, sir.
Is he logged in?
I
Or
think
did
that
he-
he is not logged in.
So can we move to the next?
Sure, ma'am. Sure, ma'am.
Okay.
With all the blessings of our executive chairman, we move ahead to our next item in the inaugural session, that is about the FDP. Our FDP coordinator, Dr. Ambali PS, will be sharing the details. Over to you, ma'am.
Most respected Executive Chairman Engineer Punus George, Director MC and Governing Board Member Professor Mini Punus, Dr. Rajesh K.S., Head Department of Computer Applications, other respected members from St. Kitts family, my dear colleagues and dear enthusiastic participants, a warm and graceful morning to you all. We have chosen the topic cyber security analytics and cyber forensics for the FDP based on its high relevance and especially the growing significance in this pandemic situation. Now, all our traditional routines are becoming online, and along with this, the unreal fact of five-fold increase in cyber attacks since the start of COVID-19, as per the WHO reports, urges the users to stay vigilant. Cybersecurity analytics is a proactive approach to cybersecurity. The need for security analytics technologies is growing with rapid advancements in malware and other cyber exploits. The importance of cyber forensics, which is the application of computer investigation and analysis techniques in the interest of determining potential legal evidence, is also at its peak now. This FDP has more than 170 enthusiastic registered participants from almost all states from all over India. We are glad to have all of you here. It's my pleasure to walk you through the FDP, introduce you to the sessions handled by eminent personalities from IITs, NITs, and other academic research and development organizations from India and abroad. So for the day one, that is today, we have two sessions. First one is handled by Dr. Satish K. Pedoju from IIT Roorkee, and the topic is mobile malware analysis and detection. During the afternoon session, we will have a hands-on by Ms. Reyes Murthy, Associate Director, CDAC Hyderabad, and he will be taking the tools for cyber security, understanding about network communication for security. On day two, we have an expert talk by Dr. Amala Rajan from Dubai Women's College, Higher Colleges of Technology, on the topic security and privacy issues in fog computing. And during the afternoon, we have the renowned person, Engineer Shyam Sundar Ramaswamy, who is the lead threat researcher of Cisco Umbrella Bangalore, and he will be having a hands-on session on the topic, the role of digital forensics in pandemic digital world. On the third day, we have an expert talk on cryptanalysis by Dr. Padmavati, who is an associate professor in NIT Warangal. And on the afternoon, we will be having a talk by the eminent personality, Dr. Rajiv Misra, professor from IIT Patna, on the topic of big data security. On day four, we have an expert talk by Dr. Jaidhar CD of NIT Suratkal on the topic IoT security. And afternoon will be an expert talk with hands-on session by Dr. E. Suresh Babu from NIT Warangal. And he will be taking a hands-on session on the topic, the role of cybersecurity in blockchain. On the last day, 2011-2020, we'll have a hands-on session by Dr. Arun Rajkumar P on the topic network traffic analysis, and afternoon we'll be having a resource person from CDAC with the topic tools for cyber forensics. So this was an overview of the FDP. Have a wonderful enhancement of your learning and research skills for the week ahead. I'm Dr. Ambali PS signing off and wish you all the best. Thank you all.
Thank you, Dr. Ambali. Now we are reaching the final talk of our inaugural session. For that, let me invite Dr. Shajan Joseph, Associate Professor and Stream Head of Computer Network and Security stream in the Department of Computer Applications. Over to you, sir. Shajan, sir. Shajan, sir, are you there? Shajan, sir?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, sir,
is it
you are
okay?
audible. Yes,
Yeah.
sir, it's fine.
Yeah. Hello. Good morning to one and all. Respected Executive Chairman, Engineer Punyus George, and Director, MCA, and Governing Board Member, Professor Mini Punyus, our Head of the Department, Dr. Rajesh KS, participants, and the FDP Coordinator, Dr. Ambli PS, all esteemed faculty members. Welcome to the virtual platform of the inaugural program of FDP, Cyber Security Analytics and Cyber Forensics. Let me enter into my assigned duty to express the vote of thanks. Our Executive Chairman, Engineer Punyus George, we fondly address him as Levi sir. He is the founder and executive chairman of St. Kitts Group of Institutions, also Secretary Governing Board. As a visionary, technocrat, and educator, and a frequent visitor to all national and international universities, he is a source of great inspiration for all of us. He is the moving force behind all the institutional and departmental activities. In spite of his pressing engagements and demanding assignments, we expected him and he gave his consent to inaugurate this inaugural ceremony of the FDP. Because of some emergency, he could not reach us. I express my thank to him. Thank you, sir. Next is Professor Mini Punyus. Minimum is a member, governing board and director, MCA programs, an astute administrator, an erudite scholar with boundless energy and enthusiasm. She is a source of great motivation for all of us. In spite of her innumerous administrative and management duties, her presence is a great honor for all of us. Ma'am, your presidential address was an enlightening one. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Next is, I also thank our beloved principal, Dr. Joseph Kunyupol, in his absentia. Thank you, sir. Then our head of the department, Dr. Rajesh KS, a good academician and an able administrator, always available and approachable. He is a source of constant support and encouragement, planned and visualized a lot of programs for the department in his journey towards a center of excellence. Thank you, sir. Next, I would like to thank the participant. Participant is the key who make a faculty development program successful. Around 200 participants have registered for the program. I firmly believe that through different sections and discourse by eminent persons from academia and industry, participants are going to have a technical feast throughout this week. Thank you all for joining the FDP. Let me take this opportunity to thank deans, HODs of various departments, professors, teaching and non-teaching staff, fellow faculty members in the department, and all those who directly or indirectly associated with this faculty development program. Thank you all. before I wind up, let me thank you once and for all. Thanking you.
Thank you, Shajan sir. Now that our 5-day faculty development program is inaugurated, let's move into our session. We'll have a short video about our campus. Jijo sir, can you hold on the video for a moment? Dear all, sorry to get in the middle. Now we have here our Executive Chairman of St. Kitts Group of Institutions, Engineer Punus George. I invite you, sir. Devi sir, over to you.
Yeah. Can you hear me now, madam?
Yes, sir, you're audible now.
Okay. Okay. Respected principal, our chief guest, Dr. Sadish Kumar Pedoju, as well as all the other dignitaries and participants, and dear faculty members, as well as students. We have always tried to think ahead on what is the most relevant among the teaching learning community on all the fields of learning which St. Kitts is engaged to. And if you now look at the comments or reports from Gartner as well as leading consultancies like McKinsey, they are all stressing that always the cyber security as well as artificial intelligence and robotics are the main aspects or the main points in which the technology will be around. That is, human society in its journey towards modernization will always be going ahead and ahead, and these three aspects. Among these, the cybersecurity aspect, that is found to be most relevant. As we all know, we have a lot of challenges in cybersecurity. Cybersecurity, there are two aspects. One is the law-abiding users and then the laws involved, and then the cybersecurity protocols as well as the cybersecurity vigilance which is involved, which I will highlight further. We all know that almost all the companies at present are digitalized to little bit or to a greater extent, and maybe also now 100% digitalization is going on due to the COVID pandemic, which has affected the entire globe. So in this new scenario, the importance of cybersecurity the importance of creating an environment where there is adequate awareness about that. That is most important. See, there is a saying that any law or any thing which is to be kept sacrosanct, it is always for the law-abiding people or the rule-abiding people. So why human society needs such cybersecurity practices which will create deterrence, which will create awareness, and which will catch hold of the violators? That is something which has to be more and more deeply thought of by the faculty as well as students as well as industry. So in fact, in companies which I am involved, from the beginning itself, in the last 7-8 years, we have been trying to make the awareness of cybersecurity aspects. We have been trying to make every employee as well as every user aware of what are the cybersecurity violations possible, what are the different type of intrusions or attacks possible, what are the different type of outcomes or calamities or damages which may arise out of such intrusions and attacks. So in a way, the entire human society has to be made aware of their basic rights, their cyber security rights, and which are the lines which they can travel up to, so that it becomes a mutually developed situation. And technology in cybersecurity is also fastly developing. Earlier, we had a lot of systems which were flagging of calamitous incidents or attacks. But now we have artificial intelligence which has come into the field of cybersecurity. Recently, I was in contact with a group while I was attending the GAITEC in Dubai last year. At the time, I met a group called Dark Force, which is a US-based company, which is on the leadership in providing artificial intelligence for looking at patterns, looking at possibilities which will indicate that a cybersecurity attack is on the, we are on the verge of that for a particular company. So similarly, there are many other companies in India, especially in Bangalore, which need cybersecurity specialists, which need people who are aware of the technology as well as the relevant current situation. Because you know, unlike the normal day-to-day use technology, the cyber security side of this always is changing. It is very dynamic. You hear of one type of attack or one type of incursion or one type of virus. All these, now the terms are changing. Every day you get different type of new things, new aspects of threats. So awareness is also very important. So in this regard, I believe that our Department of MCA, St. Kitts Institute of Computer Applications, as under the leadership of Dr. Rajesh, as well as the senior faculty, namely Dr. Bikku Abraham, Dr. Ambly, as well as other faculty members have taken this initiative. I would like to congratulate, and I would like to give all appreciation for all the attendees of this program for taking their time to be online with us. With this, I submit before you the inauguration of the cybersecurity program from 16th to 20th November 2020, titled as Cyber Security Analytics and Cyber Forensics. Thank you.
Thank you, Punu sir, for your enlightening words. Jijo sir, shall we continue with our presentation? Our resource person will be joining soon.
Before that,
Jijo
I
sir?
would like to congratulate, excuse me. Before that, I would
Yes.
like to congratulate all the organizers, HOD, Dr. Dr. Rajesh K.S., Dr. Ambli P.S., who is the coordinator of this FDP program, and all the senior faculties, Bikku, Dr. Bikku, Dr. Shajan, and all others who have done a lot of effort for making this FDP a success.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Sangit's group of institutions, the unmatched ecosystem for academic excellence. Sangit's College of Engineering, the only unaided engineering college with 7 NBA accredited courses in Kerala. Sangit's Institute of Management, Sangit's College of Applied Sciences. Excellent coaching and personalized mentoring bring out the best in you. Sangit's library showcases the gravity with which it drives the learning process. Unleash the power of learning by doing. Hands-on laboratory experiences are critical to the learning process. Sangit's is equipped with the best-in-class laboratories which expose the students to the most advanced instruments, machines, and technology. Sangit Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship fosters innovative and creative entrepreneurial activities in the campus. Our primary focus, engineering by doing. Sangit students' pioneering state-level achievements include 5 consecutive years of participation in the Baja competitions organized by SAE USA. The first ever concrete canoe of Kerala was built by our students of the Department of Civil Engineering for the competition organized by the American Society of Civil Engineers. Our students of the Department of Electrical and Electronics Engineering built the first ever electric all-terrain vehicle from Kerala to qualify for track racing in terrain vehicle motorsports. Preferred recruitment destination for many prestigious companies like Infosys Limited, Amazon, IBM, TCS, MRF, and Indian Navy. The most beautiful moments in one's life are born on campus. At Sangit's, life beyond academics is full of possibilities. The popular fests of Sangit's, Nakshatra, Synthesis, and Gits Blitz reflect the spirit of the youth. Hostel facilities for all. A home away from home. Chase your dreams, pursue your passion, and define yourself at Sangit's. We at Sangit's believe that greatness is already within you. We will help you bring it out because we are equipped to do so, and we genuinely care about you.
That's all about our inaugural session. That's all about our inaugural session. Now we are moving on to our session 1. Our first session, the title is Mobile Malware Analysis and Detection. The session will be handled by Dr. Satish Kumar Pedoju. Dr. Satish is an associate professor at IIT Roorkee. He is a senior member of ACM and IEEE. He has got more than 10 years of experience in teaching and handling various research projects in the area of security. Dr. Satish is a member of various prestigious professional societies and winner of various awards and recognitions by these societies. His research interests include pervasive and ubiquitous computing, cybersecurity, and cloud computing. We are extremely thankful that you accepted our invite and gave us an opportunity to listen to your knowledge. Thank you so much, Satish sir. Over to you. Satish sir, your screen is visible now.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning, and hope my screen is visible and I'm audible, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You're audible now.
Great. Thank you so much for confirmation. And thanks to your team for introducing me. Just let me change this, move this slide changer option to some other screen. You're obstructing. Okay, nice. Very nice. Just let me.
Is it okay now, sir?
Yeah, how much time I have, madam? Like, by what time I should finish this talk?
1.5 hours, sir.
Okay, all right.
Thank you, sir.
Can you see this? So it's creating problem. So you won't see my screen, right? Now you're seeing the.
Yes, sir. Your screen is not visible now.
Just I'm trying to move it. Yeah, hope is this time it should be fine, right?
Yes, sir. It's okay. Yes, the title is seen.
Okay, fantastic. Now let's start the session without any delay. Okay. First of all, thanks to Professor Ambli and St. Gitt's team for inviting me to this talk, and I must congratulate everyone for taking up this course even during this pandemic time and still motivated to learn new things. And and also I must congratulate Professor Ambali team for taking up this course. And as you all aware, these days, computational intelligence, artificial intelligence, data engineering, data science kind of words are very popular. And these days, like as the data grows, like the intelligence required to manage the data is important. And this data is growing because of many reasons. One could be the social media, the other could be Internet of Things, or many other reasons. Okay, so this abnormal growth of the data and its effects are also increasing, and it is giving ample chances, or it is creating a lot of opportunities for the computer science people to deliver new sort of algorithms which can efficiently use this data. And the other side of the what is called this data management include the securing of the data, like from the client when the data is uploaded to your social media or like your IoT device or your mobile device or any other purpose. But when the data is involved, then the attackers always try to enter into the business, and they try to take the find out the weaknesses of your system and try to attack on your computing systems. So that's why this course is very important in one sense, that cyber crimes are increasing day by day, and these cyber crimes contribute to several types of attacks due to your cloud, due to your mobile devices, due to your IoT devices, or many sort of desktop servers, web security. Several sort of security challenges are evolving day by day, and one has to take care of these challenges, being the computer science guys who are expertise of addressing these kind of problems should and must try to figure out the mechanism to address these kind of problems. So in one sort of such technical problem is your mobile security. And in the mobile security, there are day by day several apps are getting installed in on your mobile devices, and these apps are creating lot of what do you call, there are a lot of thefts due to these apps. Maybe your identity theft, maybe your personal information, or whatever it is. So mobile security is one of the crucial concern, because even mobile devices are growing day by day, and in that Android mobiles are prominent. Majority of the people are using Android mobiles, so that's why attacks on mobile device, particularly Android based mobile devices, are major targets for the attackers. So the target of this talk is to discuss how mobile malware is important, and particularly Android mobile malware is important, and what are the ways we can detect this Android mobile malware. And I will discuss some of my research outcomes that actually address this malware mobile malware detection. Okay. So this is some of the works that I am presenting today are from one of my PhD students, Anshul Arora, and prior to that there was other student working was Sri Garg, and the same work was extended by Anshul Arora. So the talk essentially will have a discussion on different types of detection models after introducing what is malware, what is mobile attacks and all that. Okay, and why mobiles are targeted for attacks. So these kind of introduction I'll give in the beginning, and then I'll discuss some of the detection models which actually were actually developed in our laboratory. So in the process, I will also discuss one of our model called hybrid mobile malware detection. Maybe I'll give less importance to that. Probably I'll give more importance to dynamic detection models, and I'll also provide some sort of inputs to the people who are doing research, how to set up experiments and what sort of results analysis you can do and so on. And in the end, I'll also highlight some of the open issues that other researchers can take up to start their research. Okay, first of all, we should try to understand that day by day, the mobile market is growing so fastly that it is almost like overtaking the desktops market. And if you see the statistics here, you will find interesting statistics here that the market share of mobile devices is pretty much high compared to your desktop devices. And at the same time, people are, one another issue is that, or another indication that people are using mobile devices and they are not depending on desktop systems is that the internet traffic. Internet traffic is also increasing substantially on your mobile devices when compared to desktop devices. So this way we can sense that, or we can conclude that, infer that mobile devices are taking over the desktop systems in terms of market share as well as internet traffic. And whenever we are talking about internet traffic, then we talk of the attacks, and the impact of these attacks will be very, very high. Okay, so internet browsing is growing day by day, and as I told you, the mobile devices are effectively using this internet browsing. And if you see the statistics again here, there are almost like 3.2 billion smartphone users worldwide, which is almost like 45% of the people. And among them, there are near about 4.8 billion people are using smartphones, which is almost like 62% of the users. And why they are using this mobile devices? Majorly for internet browsing, social media, and networking. And yeah, another important application is the gaming application, and of course the online shopping. And if you again see, try to understand this in depth, you can see that the major input to your cloud data typically is from social media networks. But at the same time, your mobile device is very important in terms of its capacity to run the gaming applications, where the processing is very important rather than storage. So there are two aspects that challenge the mobile devices. First aspect is the storage aspect, where you got a lot of applications that need to run on your device. The other side, you need to have a very good processing and what is called memory capacity to handle these kind of what is called mobile related activities. Okay. Now, if you see this statistics, that the volume of market share, as I mentioned a couple of minutes back, is drastically decreasing for other what is called operating systems in your mobile devices, and to some extent iOS is almost like consistent, but it is not gaining the market share. It is hardly having 20% of market share, and maybe like around 20-25% or maybe 30%, let us say, but like nothing more than that. But rest of the market is actually occupied by your Android phones. So this is a big, or you can say, important consideration we should have here. And just to indicate you that when there is a huge like number of people are adapting certain technology, then obviously the attackers also try to target on those particular kind of technology in order to take the advantage from the larger number of people. So almost like it is at present, it is growing like anything, and it is almost like reached 91%. Yeah, as I mentioned, the malware attackers, or you can say generally attackers, target to these devices, particularly the Android-based devices, just because they are the majority of the users, nearing almost like 70-80% of the people are using, at least using your Android mobile devices. And the purpose why they are targeting on the mobile devices, as I mentioned, they store the personal information, like your contacts, your fingerprint details, your what do you call, there are several aspects, like for example, maybe your location, maybe your fingerprints, maybe your daily habits. For example, if you are using health app, then maybe your daily habits are all, as well as your health parameters also considered. Maybe your photos, the videos, several things. Apart from that, you oh, sorry. Okay, can you please mute yourself? Yeah, and there are in fact you guys always store your you guys always use your social media apps like Facebook or WhatsApp or whatever you call it, Instagram, Twitter. I mean, every time you store these apps on your device, and you store your passwords, username passwords also on your device. So that's why you don't need to always log into your Facebook or WhatsApp or any other app. It is always open, and anyone can access by suppose by chance, if they can attack on your device, or if somebody steals your device, they can gain into the access into your device very easily, and they can easily get into your personal credits, or you can say credibilities or credentials, and your net banking credentials, maybe your banking credentials, I mean to say. Okay, and they can capture all the transaction details. If you have stored your credit card information and on the devices, then probably your credit card information, your OTPs, your SMSs, and even all your browsing credentials, right? And many things, if nothing works, that small thing that can that can be useful for the attacker is your browser. Sorry, your logs. Every mobile device actually stores your activity details in the system. So those activity details actually provide, they become the source of information for the attackers. So they can easily download the logs of your files, I mean your mobile device, these logs of your activity on your mobile device. They can analyze these log files, and they can try to understand what you are trying to do in this day, last week, last 1 month, right? And they can easily predict what you are going to do in the subsequent time. So using some sort of machine learning algorithms and all. And other side, you have these are the mobile devices which actually run on wireless medium, and these wireless medium are typically weak by nature, and this weakness is compared to wired networks, and this is another weakness source that attackers are trying to take the advantage of it. But day by day, the algorithm's complexity is increasing, and most of the applications are using AES kind of algorithms, where relatively they are stronger compared to other algorithms. And so that way, we are achieving less number of man-in-the-middle attacks, but typically the man-in-the-middle attacks are always possible in your mobile-based environments also. Okay. Can you mute yourself, please? Okay. Some of the statistics indicate that in 2000 around year, the first mobile malware attack was identified on GSM devices, GSM based mobile devices. And at that time, the attack was bulk SMS attack, and they used to send it's kind of denial of service attack. Okay. And in 2004, first ever mobile malware was identified on a particular operating system, the Symbian operating system. And the malware was called Kabir malware, and the goal of that malware was to use the Bluetooth and attack on the device. And at that time, it was around 400 devices, mobile devices were attacked, and slowly the Symbian has become popular from 2004 to 2009 between. And during that time, the antivirus malware providers are also started analyzing and collecting the samples. Particularly McAfee was very popular at that time, and later F-Secure also has come into the picture, and nowadays many others are there, but at that time these guys were very popular. Okay. And they collected large number of samples, and they tried to analyze different sorts of malwares at the time between 2004 and 9. And in 2009, the first ever mobile malware was identified on iOS operating system. And again, iOS operating systems are very less prone for attacks because of their inherent design of the operating system. But in 2010, first ever mobile malware was identified on Android operating system, and it was a masquerading attack, and it was a media player, because the media players were using flash players or some sort of players, and those were the weak sources of attacks. And later, Android has become so popular, it overcome the Symbian operating system, iOS operating system, and as I have shown you the graph in the previous slide, it overtook like anything, and within couple of years, it has become so popular, and it has occupied the entire market, and that's how it has become the source of attacks for the attackers. And if you see the statistics, you will really find it very interesting that in 2010, the first malware was identified, but by 2012, just in 2 years of span, almost like 12,000 apps were identified as malware, and the malware samples were identified. And imagine just 2012 to 2018, you can say like altogether, maybe in 8 to 10 years span, it has become so occupied that it's now almost like more than almost like 10 to 12 what do you call millions of attacks that just happen due to your Android operating system. So just I'm trying to convince you that the attacks are drastically growing on mobile devices. Of course, the solution makers are also coming up with several innovative ideas. So it is slowly like the trend is slowly changing. But in a sense, just I want to convince you that like almost like 97% of the malware identified these days are just because of your Android malwares. Yeah, as I mentioned a few minutes back, the samples are growing exponentially almost, and from last 2-3 years the trend is slightly changed, but otherwise there are the attacks, and these attacks are drastically growing. So, but why Android is see Android is occupying the market. It doesn't mean that it should not be the source of attacks. And even if it is the source of attacks, what is the necessity that 95%, I'm sorry, 95 or 97% of the attacks are just because of Android attacks? That means it indicates that somewhere Android is weak by its design. So that's why the attackers are identifying these weaknesses and trying to attack on the mobile phones, Android-based mobile phones. So as I mentioned a few minutes back, like the motive is always like financial gain and identity theft and many other like personal grudge or many other reasons. But the main important reason why Android is like the design of Android operating system is essentially it is open source, and the openness of this design, like this is a people can easily identify by looking into the code what is the weak source of the code, right? So it is easy for the attackers to identify the weak code, and they can easily exploit the weak code, and they can go enter into the device and attack on the what is called like the applications or data, whatever you are trying to use in your device. Okay. And yet another important concern is that the Google Play Store is the source of or means of your app's installation, or else you might use third-party providers. Okay, but in any case, these third-party apps or Google Play Store apps are essentially are not fully thoroughly tested for any apps that are stored in the Play Stores. Okay, they for any possible attacks, right? So here I must hint to you that the Google Play Store system is actually weak. The tool what you use in your Play Store is called Google Bouncer. That Google Bouncer actually will analyze the application of each application that you store in your mobile device. Sorry, on Google Play Store. Okay. But unfortunately, this bouncer is not an application it's not a mobile device on which you are running the application. It is a emulator on which the security algorithms are run and are tested. The weakness of these emulators is that they don't depict or realize the real-time environment like the mobile device, where on the actual mobile device you can make the calls, you can send the SMSs, and you can make a lot of other activities. But on the emulator you cannot do all these things. and there are some sort of attacks. For example, they send only SMSs and links, and they like tempt the users to click on that link, click fraud attacks. But these click fraud attacks actually come through your SMSs, and these kind of attacks are not analyzed by your bouncer, Google bouncer. So, and another important concern is that most of the times the updates whatever you are giving to your like application after installation, typically the what you call it as the code, the dynamic code, the actual code what you installed may be different from the code which you got into the application through update time. So the attackers, what they do is they come into your Google Play Store as a genuine application, and they become the popular applications. And once they enter into your device, then they start gaining access to your device and your personal data uh, during the update time. That's why you must have realized that government of India recently banned several apps. I mean, they tend to be very genuine apps, and they were occupying the Google Play Store, because in the Google Play Store analysis, they are not attacker apps, because they are not stealing anything, because they are the genuine apps. But when they are installed on your device, then during the updates time and several other activities time, what they do is they try to steal your personal data. They store in their servers, they analyze your data, they steal your data, they sell your data. So they do a lot of misuse of your data, what do you call that is sent from your mobile device. So that's the reason why uh, the second important big source of your or you can say easy source of attackers is your Google Play Store, or third party apps are very easy for the attackers. Most of the times, we whenever some website publishes some called APK file to install your application, then simply you will install it, and someone sends a link from your WhatsApp chats or some other chats, then usually they click on it and they install the applications. So these are not even coming from your Google Play Store, where at least minimum testing is done in your Google Play Store. But these third-party apps which are coming from your emails or your WhatsApp chats or several other links, okay, or from your friends. So many times what you do is you copy some application from your friend system to your system, and in all such cases there is no means that you will verify that whether that particular app is a genuine app or not. Okay. So these are all different types of problems that exist, and that's the reason why Android has become easy source of attacks, because it being having several weaknesses within the design of the Android structure itself. Okay. And apart from your Play Stores and apart from your open source design of your Android systems, in general, attackers always target for mobile device with several other sources like your SMSs, Bluetooth, Internet, and several other sources. And the goal of these attackers is to or you can say target of these attackers is to drain out the battery, disable the system functions. I mean, they try to make your device unavailable to you in some sort, so that, I mean, it's kind of physical or virtual damage to your system that leads to that makes the mobile device to be unavailable to the user. Or it may be also possible that they may misuse the mobile device for information leakage to steal the account details, contacts, call logs, or device details like your IMEI number, and so on. and economical losses. Like this is another important thing, and these days very commonly happening, or like on your device, the app sits and in the backend it makes a lot of calls, and it makes a lot of sends a lot of SMSs, deletes the data, and you never notice it. And many times, like your camera starts and you don't know about that, you don't know that camera is started, and it has already started, like recording the environment. And like like that, people try to misuse your device for several other purposes, and to steal your personal data. And apart from these three important verticals, it is also used for majorly botnet activity, where your device itself, at first hand, it has become the infected system, and the second, hand, it is acting as a system which is infecting the other systems. So this has become a bot now, infected bot, and this infected bot is infecting several other mobile devices. So this way, it has become a network of bots, and all these network of bots together collectively, steal huge amounts of data across the mobile device in your in the worldwide. Okay. And apart from this, there are many other advantages with uh, I mean with the mobile device for the attackers. I mean to say, like, there are other sort of threats, okay, like spamming your mobile devices, or cyberbullying, and many other sort of purposes are there for which the mobile device are actually used. Okay, given that introduction, let me quickly hint you that there are several sort of approaches that exist in your market or literature for detection of mobile malware, particularly Android mobile malware. And as I mentioned, the goal of this talk is to limit our discussion to detection of Android mobile malware. So I'm refraining this solutions discussion also to your Android mobile malware. That's why when I said here detection techniques, though these are commonly applicable for other malware detections, other operating system based malware detections. Okay, but like I'm limiting this discussion to Android systems. Okay, in our algorithm, we have devised four sort of mechanisms, and static algorithms, dynamic algorithms, and hybrid algorithms. And in the dynamic algorithm, we have come up with two different sort of approaches. So there are four approaches we have proposed so far, and we are still working on in this direction. And we are coming up with new sort of techniques in this dimension. So I will try to discuss today. I will give the emphasis, like the idea of these algorithms and this algorithm, and I will also, if time permits, discuss hybrid model also. Okay. And just to give you a hint, very quick hint, that I don't know how many of you have actually studied about Android systems, but in general, any Android system is actually based on permissions. Everyone knows about this at least, right? That whenever you are installing an application, new application, that new application actually asks for what is called the several permissions to enter into your what is called mobile device, and gain the access, so that they can manipulate the different resources that are there in your device. So they ask for different sort of permissions, and one of the important permission in that is access to the internet. suppose if you are having some application, you install some application, and that application actually like maybe it may be benign or malware, but essentially it might need the permission to access the internet. So that's where the weakness starts. And if you give the permission for that app to access the internet, then that app can collect a lot of information from your device and send this information to the bot master, the attacker, okay, who actually receives this data and analyzes it. Okay, and typically these permissions and several other Android related parameters are actually stored in a file called manifest file, and this manifest file will actually store several Android related parameters, particularly your permissions, API calls or system calls, or several other operating system related parameters. And the people try to gain the access into these system level functions, which actually are important for the attackers to attack on your device. So they try to gain the access to these permissions which may not be needed for that app to use. So this is the first weakness the Android operating system is having. So Android operating system is not having any self protection system. Instead, it controls the apps to access the resources of the device just by adding couple of permissions, or in other words, it restricts the access to the specific resources by constraining the permissions. If you understand this principle, then if you are actually using the apps, then or you are giving the permissions to the apps, at that time you must be very cautious. But unfortunately, many a times what we do is most of the times we will be hurried in giving the permissions, and we will be hurried in installing the application. We want to run that application very quickly to complete the work. So many a times during the installation times, we never see what permissions this application is actually asking for, and whether this application we never think, or we will never analyze at least for a minute, that whether this application really requires these permissions or not. Okay, so there are several applications which might not need any specific permissions, but it may ask for the permissions and gain access to those resources. So the first the detection model we targeted is the static detection model, where it analyzes what permissions are actually targeting, what sort of malware are, let me put it this way, what are the applications that are asking for permissions, and what permissions they are asking, and among these permissions, which permissions are really needed for that application and which are not. Okay, and we try to develop a graph based malware detection model that actually constructs different sort of graphs for permissions, and their a pair of permissions which are actually contributing for the attacks. So this is one sort of strategy we adapted in the detection of malware on mobile devices. And the other side, we targeted on the network traffic based attacks, where there may be some apps which are having the required set of permissions, but there is every possibility that they are collecting the data, they are appearing to be genuine, but the collected data is sent to the attacker through the network. And in case the network, the attacker is sending such important information through the network, it is our responsibility to analyze and understand how is the network traffic is going on, and based on the network traffic analysis, we can try to sense to some extent if the attacker is sitting on your device or not, and they are trying to send the information maliciously or not. So in order to understand this behavior, we try to adapt network traffic features, and this is called dynamic detection. And in the process, we understood that there are, we tried with the ranking based network malware detection model, and later we tried to, we realized that during our analysis, some of the malwares which are using encryption of the packets, and due to their encryption of the packets, we were unable to detect some of the malware. So then we came up with a revised model of the, or improved model of the previous version, where we also try to detect some of the malwares which are actually using encryption at the backend to send the packets. So these two are biggest achievements from our end, and in fact, like mostly these are like first introduced works from our India, and at least like now across the globe to some extent, and in one sense. And later we thought that, like, why only static separate, dynamic separate? Why don't we have both combined together to make a detection model? So that's how we came up with a new model called hybrid detection model, where we adapted frequent patterns approach to create a detection model. So these are different models, and I'll share the links to the links to our publications, where you can find more details about all these papers. But I will try to discuss some of these models in my discussion in detail. And this is the general idea how malware detection is important, and what sort of attacks are actually are actually attacking on your systems. How, what are the sources of weak sources of your systems, and so on. And in those who are good at machine learning, these detection models can be developed for using different sort of machine learning models. And in fact, we tried in the similar manner here in our approach. We used different machine learning algorithms like SVM, decision trees, random forests, and many other algorithms. We also used some sort of what do you call algorithms like, as I mentioned, frequent patterns algorithm, information growth, information grain, or chi-square test. Several sort of algorithms we adapted in our analysis to understand the behavior of these attacks and build a detection model for these attacks. So let me quickly summarize how this static is actually working. So as I mentioned, every app requires permissions to access the Android's resources, and whether it is a normal app or Android app, they actually ask for the same set of permissions, and that is the weak source of attack. And there are many researches that were available during by the time we started this research, they were adapting machine learning based algorithms to detect the create a detection model using the permissions. But no one was targeting for permission patterns. I mean to say here, the permission patterns means what what set of, at least you take two permissions and a pair of permissions, you can say, and which combination of permissions are highly what do you call making sense for the attacks. Okay, so for example, internet and read phone state are the two permissions. Actually, these are the very dangerous permissions. And why dangerous? Because For example, read phone state is something like collecting all your phone logs. Okay, every state information, your network status, your battery status, your screen status, your Bluetooth, your internet, your sensors, right, camera, calling, all features of your phone are available for all the apps, for that app. So if the app can gain the access to read phone state permission, then it is almost like it is leaking your uh, like you know all data, or very important data of your device. And when such read state is connected with the internet, then we can easily sense that this state information they may be sending it to a bot master. Okay. So this way there is every possibility of leaking of information to the server. Okay, so just to indicate you that none of the existing works, to our best of knowledge, focused on analyzing the permission patterns of malware and normal apps and use these patterns for detection. So ours is the first work in understanding like which combination of permissions are actually becoming the source of attacks for the devices. So our research goal was to effectively identify which set of permission patterns are can contribute for the efficient detection of Android malware. And I request everyone to read this paper. This is one of our popular paper and gaining a lot of citations day by day. And this paper discusses a mechanism called permission pair, which uses the combination of pairs and constructs a graph model, as I told you. So it makes a graph representation. Like for example, there is a permission P1, and let us call them with some like general numbers: permission P1, P2, P3, and so on. Like for example, P1 is internet, P2 is read phone state, P3 is camera, P4 like that. Let's call them in general. Then if these two permissions, or maybe these two permissions, or maybe these two permissions, which two permissions are actually contributing for the attacks? So we have to analyze, and we have to rank them, like whether P1 P2 is actually more serious, or P1 P3 is more serious, or P2 P3 is more serious. So we have to make an analysis on this pairs, so that I can figure out which set of pairs are actually making sense for the attackers. So we constructed separate permissions graphs for malware as well as normal apps. So here we considered different sort of malware here. So there were 3 malware samples we have considered, and like you can say malware datasets. So and one normal. So 4 graphs were constructed, and these 4 graphs were compared and analyzed for any possible attacks on your any possible pairs or combinations of apps are actually leading to any sort of attacks. So it's now 1 hour. So I'll take a couple of questions from the audience. Then I'll discuss next half an hour for a couple of a specific algorithm, detection algorithm in detail. So any questions from the audience?
Participants, either you can unmute yourself, chat box.
Okay, I have to open the chat box. Okay. If there are no questions, I'll continue, but like if you have any questions, I will take questions. Okay, just to summarize that, like mobile malware is very important in the current era as the number of devices are increasing, and this increase is such a huge that it is almost equal to the population size. Okay. That's the first important point. Second important point is that Android malwares are drastically like increasing just because Android phones are popular and the weaknesses in the Android based systems are very high. So we need to focus more on Android malware detection, and several people are researching to protect the Android based systems, and they are designing several detection models to protect the Android based mobile devices. And from our laboratory, we are also doing the same efforts to design a couple of algorithms to protect the mobile malware systems, Android based mobile malware systems. Okay. And in the process, we designed several algorithms, and I am trying to give a superficial idea how these like attacks can be detected. And permissions is one of the important or key source of attacks in your mobile malware, Android based mobile malware. Okay. And these permissions, the set of permissions, the combination of permissions actually contribute for the attacks. So we are trying to design the models in such a way that we have tried to identify which set of or which combination of or which pair of malware are actually permissions are actually contributing as a malware. Okay. And in the process, we designed a perm pair algorithm. A detailed analysis is available in the research paper. I request you to read it. And it requires, I mean, the paper is very easily readable, and it's written in a very simple language, and every detail is given in the paper. And those who wanted to start the research in that direction can start with this paper. Okay. And next important point is that the permissions are actually static in one sense that static here means the once you give the permission to that particular application, there won't be any changes that can happen to the permissions or whatever it is, right? Okay. I mean, if you have to do it, you have to do it again manually, but automatically it can't happen. Okay. The changes can't happen. So that's why it is system is static system, and usually the changes happen most of the times during the updates time, and the attackers target these kind of systems during the update times. So that's why you must have a detection algorithm running on your mobile device which actually figures out who are the attackers and how they are attacking on your system. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I'll list the references, but my own papers are the best source for you. I can show you again. So this paper is very, very important paper for anyone who wants to start their research, and they can read this paper. It is quite easily understandable, and every detail is provided in this paper, almost like 30-35 pages or like 40 pages of content is there. And if you read line by line, you will easily understand it. In any case, if you want to start researching in this direction, then you can be in touch with us, and we will try to help you also. Okay, so that's the idea of malware detection and static approach. Now let us move on and try to understand what is dynamic approach. So as I mentioned, static approach essentially uh, targets for the manifest file features in which permissions, API calls, and several other parameters are statically fixed, and the attacker try to target such like systems. But many a times there are some malware which actually download the malicious code during the update time. Okay, and this update usually happens through the network, maybe network through your Bluetooth, network through your internet, or network through whatever it is. In our researching, we have considered only internet-based traffic, but you could also apply the same principles for other traffic also. Okay, so these malware which actually download the malicious code at the update time usually evade the static permission-based detections. Okay, so that's why we need to think of alternative approach, and the alternative approach is dynamic approach, where the network traffic based features need to be analyzed and figured out whether any attacks are happening. Like anyone is, at least we should try to analyze if anyone is stealing the data from your mobile device. Okay, so this is the second sort of detection that actually your system requires. And we targeted in our research to analyze the network traffic features and what sort of features to be selected which actually contribute for the detection, and which actually set of distinguished features which actually help in detection of your malware. I mean, these are the three important corners in which we have to analyze the detection as far as network traffic is concerned, or you can say dynamic approach is concerned. And uh, the important point is that uh, the research started towards this direction in around 2013-14, and fortunately in our India we also started towards this direction during the same period. And one of my master students, Anshul Arora, he was master students at that time. Now he is working with me for his PhD, and soon he is completing his thesis. He is submitting his thesis, and in 2014, we are the first people from India to start this research, network traffic analysis, and we published this work in some international forum at that time. So as I mentioned, none of the existing works at that time was targeting for any dynamic detection approaches or network feature-based attack detection, and we have reported first time which traffic features can better distinguish the Android malware traffic and normal traffic. So the goal of this work is to how to detect Android malware based on network traffic analysis, and which features can better distinguish normal and malicious apps. And our contribution was to develop a model to prioritize the network traffic features for Android malware detection. Okay, and as I already mentioned, why network traffic? Because 95% of activity is due to mobile malwares are actually are using the network activity. Excuse. So that's why analyzing the network traffic is very important concern, apart from your permission based activity and all that. Okay. So at that time, no works were there in the worldwide in general, but at least from India, none of were there, and ours is the first work to report at that time. So as I mentioned, in 2014, this is the first work we reported in the literature targeting for mobile malware detection using network traffic analysis. And this was published in Oxford University. And the important point was that, like, this is, though it is the first work, but it is having a lot of, like, important things to be learned from it. uh, and why, because, like, anyone who wants to start the research in the mobile malware side, my recommendation is that at least you can start installing your Android emulator and learn how to use the Android emulator. Try to collect some of the malware samples, and some of them are available freely on internet, and you get them and start working on emulator. It is quite easy and no cost is involved. You don't need to buy any mobile device, you don't need to buy anything. Just on your laptop you can sit and produce wonderful like research outcomes. So that's how we started it in 2014, and we started with a simple emulator, and we started analyzing the network traffic features. And at that time we analyzed 16 traffic features, and out of that 16 traffic features we found that 7 features are distinguishing from each other. That means 7 features are clearly differentiating which is malware sample and which is normal sample. Okay. Particularly some malware like unserver bot, base bridge, typically they wait for certain system activities, for example calling or SMS or something like, okay, like activities. And typically these activities can't be initiated on your emulators. So that's why the remaining features were not, like effective in detecting the model. But that was a very, very, like important initiative towards this detection model design. Then we realized that this is going to be very important work, and instead of using the emulators, we should actually buy smartphones, and we should try to implement this on the real smartphones. So later we bought a couple of actual smartphones to capture the malware traffic, and when we does the same experiments on the real smartphones, surprisingly, this time we have taken more number of features. Earlier it was only 16 features we have considered, but we have considered 22 features this time. And in spite of that, surprisingly, there are no distinguishing features identified between malware samples and normal samples. So that means that the answer bot, base bridge kind of malware samples which are evading in your emulator were also actually, like like making no difference in your smartphone based detection. But ultimately you have to design a model for actual smartphone design. So the emulator based work has really given some feedback to us and initiative to us, but when we have done this on actual smartphones, then it led to several new challenges to us, and we started, like, digging in depth why this difference has happened, and why there is no distinguishing feature identified on the smartphones. Okay, so then we started analyzing in more detail, identifying, like, which are the minimal set of features that can be used for detection of Android malware. So we took different malware samples, and we tried to analyze that those malware samples in two sets. Set one uses like we call it as known samples, and set two as unknown samples. So we categorized all the available samples into different like sizes, some for training, some for testing, and some as known, some as unknown. Combinations are used, and these combinations are actually analyzed. So typically these malware and normal traffic, what we used were like the social media applications like your WhatsApp, Facebook, and email application like Gmail, for example. okay, gaming applications and simple normal web browsing and all. And we took around like nearly 200 samples, maybe around, right? And out of that, around 150 samples we used it for testing purpose, and maybe the other way around, like maybe 200 samples for training purpose and 150 for testing purpose. Total 300, around like 350, I guess. Okay, and like these set of numbers, actually these are just numbers. You can find it in our research papers. Okay, what I'm trying to say is that here these samples are analyzed in such a way that we categorize them into different uh, like known and unknown kind of things. This is important because we want to understand how the attacker's behavior is there, how the machine learning model is actually detecting the unknown samples. Ultimately, we wanted to have the detection of unknown samples, right? So known samples detection is quite easy, though it requires efficient machine learning model design. But once you design a model, it might not be possible that a new malware, whatever it comes tomorrow, may be having different features and different structures. So that becomes unknown sample for us. So that's why we try to analyze this, segregating the samples into known and unknown categories, and some of them as malware and normal samples. So again, like near about 100 normal samples for training and near about 80 for testing, something like that. We categorically classified the samples, and we analyzed them. And if I remember correctly, the data sets used were genome data set at that time, and slowly we extended this for several other data sets also, like Drebin is there, Kudos is there. So there are several other data sets that we used in our research over the period of time. And if you see the slide, you find a lot of set of features. So these are the set of features that we actually used in our research, particularly the average packet size, ratio of incoming to outgoing bytes, bytes received per second, packets sent per flow. Like several other features were used, and we named them as F1, F2, F3, and so on, right? And we try to find out how what is the range of values each normal and malware samples are having. Okay, and if you observe this ranges, you see that this 72 to 388 is actually overlapping in your normal range. So it is very difficult for us to figure out, suppose if normal traffic is having a average packet size of, let's say, 100, okay, then how to detect that whether this is a normal one or malware one? So if you see like this, if you see all the statistics for all the features, in fact, as I mentioned, there are 22 features we have considered, and all the 22 features are unfortunately having overlapping values. So we were unable to differentiate or distinguish between malware samples and the normal traffic. Okay. So that's why we started like analyzing, and I can say like remodeling it in such a way that we will prioritize the features, so that which features are actually contributing for attacks. Okay. So there we started working towards prioritizing the features based on some ranking approach, like we used simple IG, information gain, and chi-square test, very simple tests to analyze or you can say rank them in for different purposes. So purpose of feature ranking is multifold, where it improves the detection accuracy, uh, as irrelevant features may not contribute much for the attacks detection, and reduced feature dimension results in a lower set of features to be used in training and testing. So this way it speeds up the detection. So two targets here: speed of detection is second target. First target is improving the accuracy of detection. Okay, so these two were the targets of our detection, and speed we are trying to achieve by reducing the number of samples what we are using in the detection. So as I mentioned, 22 features were used. So we have done some analysis like how many features I can reduce so that if the reduced feature dimension will not create any problem for me, will give me the similar detection of results. So in this direction we did some research efforts, and if you see the statistics that, so we found the F score based on your TPR and SPR, and on each feature, like we took each feature and we started adding features to that list, okay, for different k values of your algorithm, right? And you see that the detection is increasing, and at k equals to 13, there are 9 features. This is the nine features, okay. Let me write it here. There are 9 features that have yielded to 96.36% of detection accuracy, okay. And we continued this detection, adding more number of features to it, and we realized that there is no big difference in your detection output, and we continued this for other features. Oh. Okay, and you could see that when we take all 22 features, uh, okay, it is observed that the detection accuracy is 96.07. So there is no big difference between the detection output. So instead of having used 22 features, it would be good to use only 9 features. So I have reduced drastically, less than 50% of features, and I am getting the same detection output. So this way I can speed up the detection of my what is called malware. Okay, so this one important approach that actually helps in figuring out the malwares in your system. So we further analyzed we took the same 9 feature set, and we took only information gain, only chi-square test on malware, only chi-square test on normal apps, and we combined them. So we tried all the different possible combinations of analysis, and we done a lot of further experiments on this, and we tried to analyze which is giving better results for it. But of the studies, we realized that only the set 4, the top 9 features are actually containing the minimal set of features that actually are leading to the best detection results, close to your 96.37%. That's a big change in the detection model what we have arrived at in our design. Okay. But when we have further analyzed this detection model, we realized that only 146 samples out of 150 are actually correctly detected. And there are malware samples like Dried Kung Fu, Zaps, and Genemi are the samples, or you can say families, actually, malware families. They evade the detection, and we try to further analyze why they are evading. So it is observed that they are actually using encryption for sending the packets. This is very surprising for us at that time, because malwares are also using encryption for sending the traffic packets and all that. And they were using like DES kind of algorithms and AES kind of algorithms, and some Zaps was actually have their own designed algorithm for encryption of the systems. And even normal samples were also not properly detected. there were a lot of false positives here, particularly the online gaming apps were having a lot of problems in the detection. Okay, they behaved like malware samples, though they were genuine or benign normal samples. Okay, and we further analyzed and studied how to detect this traffic, which is actually encrypted in its nature, and how to minimize these false positives. So these are the two targets we targeted in our research. Okay, and the previous work, the one we have discussed so far, is published in this paper, and it is in the top class conference called ICDCN. You can go through it, and otherwise we have done further researching on this, and using encryption models also, and we further submitted the paper to other journal in computers and security, and its results are still due. So once they get published, you can search for this paper. You will find it in the internet after, like, a couple of months, maybe 4 or 5 months later or 6 months later. I mean, this paper published in the internet. Okay, so that's the dynamic detection model. And if you have any further questions, maybe I'll not take the questions because we have only 3 minutes of time now. So I'll quickly wrap up the talk. And as I mentioned, permissions are having some advantages, and but they are also having some disadvantages. They can't detect the update attacks. And network traffic features, they detect all types of traffic based features, but they cannot detect like permission based attacks. And that's where we need to take the advantage of both the like features. So we have to adapt a model called hybrid detection model, which takes the benefit of permissions and network traffic features both in the design of detection model. Okay, and this is where we designed a hybrid model which consists of permissions and network traffic features. And we called it as NTP Droid model, which uses frequency patterns based approach for detection of the malware samples. And the same one, we try to extend it for like extend it slightly in such a way that we use both supervised and unsupervised learning approaches, like, for example, K-mediates and KNN algorithms combination together to make a detection of what is called malware samples. And the detection accuracy drastically increased by your hybrid approach. Okay, and you can find more details about this research in this paper, which is TrustCom is one of the top class conference in your like security domain, and it's one of the premier conferences. And you can find more details about this NTP Droid work, the first work in this TrustCom paper. And similarly, I'll skip the details of the work now in the interest of time. But we try to, let me quickly give a hint here, that we combined the network features and we combined the permissions, both features, as a single tuple, a combination of network features and patterns tuple. And we created a clusters of all the features, and then on all the samples, both malware and normal samples, and on each cluster we applied and this clustering is done with K-mediates algorithm. Okay, and we use the KNN algorithm to analyze each cluster separately to detect the malicious and normal apps. Okay, so yeah, we used K-mediates and KNN for detection. And we got much better results in your combined approach compared to the normal detection model. So I request you guys to go through this paper, where it is also published in yet another premier conference. Mobicom is a very, very top class conference. Only 2 to 3% of the people worldwide get their quality publications in this conference. And the accuracy reported is pretty good in this approach compared to the previous ones. And yeah, so that's the end of the talk in like presenting all our research. And for people who are interested to pursue their further research, they can think about different sort of research directions, where we can try to design the models to evade zero-day attacks. You can like think of how to detect those weaknesses or those failures Google bouncers are having, or third-party apps markets are actually having. So this is the entry-level detection model design itself is one of the big research in the what do you call mobile malware detection. Otherwise, you can adopt any other malware detection models, and you can apply different sort of machine learning algorithms. You can try different combinations to understand the analysis or the behavior. You understand the behavior of the malware samples and design the detection models. And you must target these algorithms in such a way that the accuracy is actually improved. Okay. And subsequently, encryption is still an issue, though we have designed some model, but it is also having some weaknesses. After our paper gets published, we can go through that paper to identify what are those weaknesses and how to design like further models to improve the encryption level detections. Okay. And very, very important concern is that so whatever the algorithms so far we have designed, like we have collected the samples on mobile device, and we transferred these samples to a desktop system, and we tried to analyze everything in the desktop system. So that means the detection is not actually happening on your mobile device. This is actually happening on the desktop, or you can say server. Okay. So these algorithms, if I really run on them, probably they may drain out the battery. They may take the more time, computational time. So this is one direction where you can think of to adopt these algorithms directly on your mobile device and run them instead of a remote server. Yeah, and you can also explore how these algorithms can be actually adapted to IoT based systems, because ultimately IoT based systems are much weaker systems than your mobile based systems. So when it comes to IoT based systems, you can also make them further lightweight of these algorithms. So first target is that you must design these algorithms in a lightweight mode, and these lightweight algorithms actually need to be improvised further to adapt to IoT based systems. There are several possibilities exist, and these are just the ideas what I am trying to give to initiate your research. So thank you so much. I am done from my end, and these are all the references that anyone can go through, because somebody was asking me to list some research papers. So these are all very good set of research papers that someone can follow to understand the mobile malware based attacks. And thank you so much for patiently listening to my talk. And if you have any further questions, I'll take some questions now. And I'm available on Facebook and LinkedIn, or else you can be writing the mails to me. But my response in social media will be more quick than your email based attacks. I mean email based responses. So thank you so much, and thanks to the organizers for giving the opportunity, first of all, and I'll conclude the session now. So any questions? Any questions in the chat box?
Any questions from the audience? Please raise questions if you have.
Please show this
Okay.
previous slide. 55.
Okay, if there is no more queries. Thank you so much, sir, for accepting
Okay.
our invitation and sharing the technical knowledge on mobile malware analysis and detection with the research community. And I know you are very busy during this festive season, and thank you so much for coming and sharing the things, the research things with the community. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Thanks to the participants for patient listening. And yeah, if you have any questions, if you are unable to share it here, then probably you can text me on my Facebook or like WhatsApp. The LinkedIn chats also. You can become a friend to me, and you can share your questions there. We will be in touch. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you all participants. I have shared the feedback link in the chat window. Kindly please fill the feedback form. Our session 2 of today will be starting by 2 o'clock. I request all participants to join at least 5 minutes before the session. This feedback link will be deactivated by 1 p.m. Thank you. Thank you so much, Satish sir.